Good morning. It is already 12:57 p.m. I haven't really been sleeping well, so the other night I just could not fall asleep. I don't even remember at what point I fell asleep. I just have not been sleeping well lately, so I went to bed super late last night. Despite everything I tried, it was just way too hot in my room. I tried everything. I took a shower at like 2 o'clock in the morning and tried to fall back asleep, and at some point I apparently fell asleep, but I don't remember what that was, so I didn't really get up until like 11 something today, and it's just been, you know, this and that from there. I started to edit the video that I'm working on right now, and I haven't finished it yet, so I just got my coffee and I'm about to try to get started on that. After that, I really don't know what the plans are today. I tried baking soda. I tried coconut oil in my last video, and because I had dandruff and just my head was itchy and everything, and it just was oily and gross, and I mean it helped with the curls and everything, but it just was not working for me. And so I tried baking soda and my head doesn't itch, but now my hair is all poofy again and it's like afro-y. My hair just does whatever it wants depending on what I put in it. I just don't really feel like doing anything today. I don't really have any motivation, and I thought maybe editing that video would help, but I really just feel like being lazy right now, which is weird for me because I'm not usually a lazy person, but I just don't feel like cleaning anything or like organizing anything right now. I don't know. Just feel burnt out, I guess. I'm fixing to go get more coffee and maybe just watch some Casey Neistat videos. So when I was a kid, I would always go through different phases of things I like to build. Sometimes it would be pirate ships, sometimes it would be, you know, a castle. There was always something new I was working on. I always had different projects. Well, I remember one time my goal was just to make the most amazing house ever. I had so much time on my hands as a kid that I remember that I would spend whole weeks of time dedicated every single hour of the day to just building something amazing out of Legos. And it seemed like I would always create something, and then if I didn't like it, I would tear it down and recreate the same thing, only better. And I remember constantly doing that with so many different sets. I remember I was trying to make the Black Pearl, and I always tried to make it better, so I had destroyed it and rebuilt it so many times until I felt like it was the best it could be. And then by the time I was done with that, I would always see potential to be better. I would destroy it and build it again. And I did that too with the Flying Dutchman. I probably built like 5, 6, maybe even 10 of those things. So many different versions of them. I remember also that when I was a kid, I really wanted to, you know, post YouTube videos about that. And I think that's why I make videos now. I remember so many times when I just wanted to make videos about Legos and I just didn't know how. I didn't have a camera. I don't even think I was allowed to have a YouTube account, so I just never really got around to making one. I remember one of my goals was to make the coolest house I ever could, and the last thing I ever made was this house here. This was the last thing I ever made custom from Legos. Before I locked everything up and just kind of stopped playing with my toys, I guess you could say, I built this house. Everything else, I rebuilt the sets into what they originally were. I took apart all my MOCs and I just rebuilt them back to their factory design. I got all my instructions, I rebuilt everything, I put them in boxes, and I tossed them in, which kind of became a waste of time since everything has fallen apart in the last few years. This is my custom me. You know, of course you have to have a custom person. But if you see this house and it's missing some details, there's supposed to be a fountain here. I even have right here, you can see this rock wall where I have different crevices here. I have this flower bed here, a fountain. Even right here, check this out. This chimney is actually a hollow hole. I actually built it so it's actually a real hole that goes, oh, and I broke it. If I would have put a light brick back there, you would have actually been able to see the light shining from the fireplace. But overall, you can see the design I put in. On the side here, I got those slanted windows. On the back, same design, slanted windows, and I even have the whole brick sticking out accent going on all the way throughout the house. I have this nice sideways window accent as well. I kind of regret this now. I feel like I was overthinking it. I was trying to put so much detail in. I even put like a bridge going in up to the front steps. You can tell that I wasn't really a car enthusiast back in the day because this stupid thing doesn't have a garage. In fact, it looks like the garage would have been here if this was a real house design, and some idiot decided to knock it out because they wanted more room for space. Like, what idiot does that? Apparently me, back when I was like 16. I even detailed the interior. It's missing a part right here. I feel like there was supposed to be a desk there, but I really don't know. This whole thing was tiled, so it's missing something. I even have the living room with the fireplace. It has a coffee table and the lounging chairs. I even have this piece of art that I built there. And I mean, it's not a mansion or anything. It's not anything too big to boast about. But of all my years of building, this was one of the coolest things I ever made. And I'm not really an unexperienced builder. I know that this isn't necessarily a large house, but that was one of my favorite parts about it. It wasn't this oversized mansion or anything. It was actually built to be a slightly larger, but still suiting to all my other sets. Lego Creator sets, for example, their houses aren't the biggest. They're just big enough for the character to live in. And so when I built this house, my intention was to actually start building a city. I wanted to build my personal house, and then I wanted to start building other houses around the same scale. That way it would be fitting. But after building this house, I just lost my inspiration and I just kind of stopped. So this was the last thing I ever made. So the reason I wanted to mention the house in this video is because, like I said, it really is kind of sentimental to me in a way, since it's the last thing I ever built. But the reason I wanted to mention it is because soon I might take it apart. I kind of regret not being able to get pictures and posting all the stuff I made, because I built some amazing stuff in my childhood with all the Legos and free time I had, and now I just don't do anything anymore. Like, anytime I try to build Legos, it's like trying to play Minecraft. Same thing. I play for 5 minutes and then I'm bored, because I have responsibilities now, and trying to get that childhood feeling back is just not as easy as it used to be. And even when I do, I find it in more important things like working on a vehicle and stuff. I'm gonna try to see if maybe I can build a scale model of the Jeep. I might get bored in like 2 days and completely give up on this project, but I'm gonna see if I can do it. Something like this, except the Jeep. It's gonna be this size. That's the plan, at least, is to be a scale size as this. It's gonna be the Jeep. It's gonna be my Jeep, to be specific. I tried to look it up online, and a couple people have done it, but there's actually not very many out there, so it's going to be hard for me to actually get an idea of how to do it. I did actually find one really cool build that was actually featured on Motor Trend because of how designed it was, and I feel like I could have done better back in my day. Maybe not now, but I want it to be something like this, something that you would actually want to buy, something that's actually high quality, and it's not just going to be this choppy, cheap, fake-looking set. I'm not even sure I have the parts I need, since this thing's gonna be all tan, and most of my tan parts are this. On the plus side, a Jeep is pretty much a brick. There's not very many angles on it or anything, so it might be easier than I'm thinking, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm really tempted to buy one of these. They have this little Fiat 500 that looks really cool, and then the Mustang that I mentioned in the last video. They also have a Volkswagen Bus that came out before this, and I'm so tempted to buy those because I really want to put together a little car like this. But they're like $100, and I don't have $100. Unless someone wants to send me one, you would be my savior. I want to put one of these together so bad. That Mustang, that Fiat 500, even that Aston Martin, like any of those scale cars, actually any of the Lego Creator sets, like for heaven's sake. This little T-Rex thing, I think, is the coolest thing they've sold in like years. It's like $15, and I don't know why. I would have bought more of these. I should have bought a second one. I loved putting this together. It just felt so much like a classic Lego. And it's not even that big, but it was just so cool. I loved putting this together. It felt so classic. Lego Creator is the only one that still makes the best sets. They're my favorite, at least. They bring back the classic just building of Legos and not so much about the toy feature of it. Mom.
What?
Think of what my room would have looked like in 2012.
I don't remember where we lived in 2012.
It's not where we lived. I dumped all my Legos out.
Just now?
Yeah.
And so what does it have to do with your room? You're saying
my
it's
room-
Legos everywhere?
Yeah, my room looks the same as it did in 2012.
Oh, that's no bueno. I'm glad you vacuumed.
My brother has made this Jeep so gay since I gave it to him. Or since he got it. I'm 99% sure I grabbed it before I left, but it is possible that I left a piece for my tripod there. So I'm gonna see if that's there too, because I need the tripod head. And if not, I'm just gonna have to spend another $20 to buy a new one, because I've looked everywhere and I have no idea where it went. Guess I wasn't recording. Apparently my cart is full. Okay, weird. Turns out, despite the fact that I 100% believed that I totally took it with me, I apparently left the clip at my job, but I got it, so that's great. Now I can use my tripod. My dog is bouncing off the walls full of energy, and I need to take him on a walk.